Hi, everyone. Michael Dorfman here, reminding you that aging doesn't need to mean decline. We could actually thrive well past our 80s and 90s and enjoy our lives just as much as we did when we were in our 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about mindset, which is our beliefs. Roger Bannister was the first runner to break the 4-minute mile. He did that in 1954. Before that, the record was 1.4 seconds, 4 minutes, 1.4 seconds. And that was established in 1945. It wasn't until 9 years later that Roger broke that record. Before that, they didn't believe that physically you can break the 4-minute mile. So what did Roger Bannister do? What was different? And he was a scientist, and he came up with a new idea. And the idea was using pacemakers, runners that would go out in front of him and run as fast as they could, drop out. The next runner would come in, run as fast as they could, drop out. And then finally, Roger in 1954 broke the 4-minute mile with that process. He clocked 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. So it was very interesting that the next person after he did that was John Landy, and it was only 36 days later that he actually did a 3 minute 58 mile. So it just shows you that just this change in mindset, this change in belief can actually change everything. Because after John Landy did that, everybody was breaking the 4-minute mile without any problem. Another example I like to give is when they broke the sound barrier in a jet plane. And before the 1947, nobody was able to break the sound barrier. And what they did, the pilots were doing when they got up, they were trying to break the sound barrier. And when they got the speed up really close, which is at that time was 662 miles an hour, they would, at the last minute there, the plane would start shaking, and they would push the stick forward, and it never broke the sound barrier. So in 1947, it was Chuck Yeager who went up in the plane, and at the last minute said, "You know what? Instead of pushing the stick forward, I'm going to pull the stick backward." And all of a sudden, it just broke the barrier, and the flight was smooth right after that. And then that was, eventually they broke the sound barrier, and it got faster and faster. But the reason I bring this up is because of our take on health. The general feeling on health, or the understanding on health, especially in the West, is that once we're in our 70s, there isn't that much to look forward to. Yes, people can live into their 80s and 90s and survive and, just wait and just live an okay sort of life. But I'm more talking about actually thriving once we get into our 80s and beyond. And this is what my book, The Longevity Wellness Revolution, is all about. It's a bold new blueprint for thriving in the fifth stage of life, which is 80 all the way to 100 plus years. So this is my book, and it's a revolutionary book because I'm in my 80s. I'm living the dream, and I'm sharing the dream with other people. So it's a revolution because it's a new way of thinking about aging. Many of us believe once we're in our 70s, especially in the West, we're over the hill. The life expectancy is in the mid 70s to the upper 70s. When we retire, it's time to slow down, hang out, watch TV, go on our cell phones. And the worst part of it is that, unfortunately, over 70% of the people that are in their 70s and beyond, beyond, already have chronic disease. Well, over 70% already have at least one chronic disease. So, The Longevity Wellness Revolution is a book about what can we do to make this change. And just like Roger Bannister did, and as Chuck Yeager did, we can do the same thing as we get older. So this is what I'm all about. I just want to invite people to buy my book on Amazon. And also my website is longevitywellnessrevolution.com. And for people who want to continue and would like to have a personal contact with me, my email is the sage of the fifth stage at gmail.com. Sage of the fifth stage at gmail.com. So I want to leave you with that, and just stay tuned and subscribe to my Substack, and I'll be in touch later on. Thank you very much, and have a great day.